All right, if you have somebody with headphones near you, make sure they pop them on. Everybody's plugged in. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Advanced Fleet Charging Solutions Tour, hosted by the Mobility House, where we'll be taking you to a bunch of our partners in this ecosystem that make electrification possible. If you don't know us, we're the Mobility House, and we're a charging management solutions provider. We are one of the most experienced players in the game. Our solution, ChargePilot, which you can see the local hardware component here, has been deployed at over 2,500 depot locations across the world. So when it comes to experience, nobody comes close. You might be wondering, why are we starting at the charging management solutions provider? We are trying to get involved in conversations as early as possible because we can really do more than what charge management is known for, which is optimizing around time of use rates, helping you avoid demand charges. But we can help customers in helping EPC partners, for example, simplify their site design by leveraging technologies like automated load management, site integrated load management, and things like that. Charge management has the ability to affect every aspect of a project phase, and we like to work with you on all those phases so we can maximize the value that we can deliver to you. We recently won a project in Massachusetts through the Mass EC to deploy vehicle-to-grid technology. So if you have any customers in Massachusetts that are interested in V2G technology, we are giving away free chargers and free installation. We're spreading the good word. If you know anybody, let us know. But yeah, welcome to the tour. We have some partners that are going to speak at our booth here, and we'll start off by introducing you to Eaton.
Thank you. My name is Matt Root. I'm the business development manager for Eaton's electric vehicle division for the West Coast. I sit in Sacramento, California. So Mobility House asked me to come to explain. Today we've got on display, this is our Eaton Green Motion Building Pro. This is a 48 amp charger. What's interesting about this charger is it's adjustable from 48 amps down to 40 amps, all the way down to 32 amps. So you can have a 7.7, 9.6, or 11.2 kW charger, all in the same box. Comes with a 25-foot cable with a 1772 connector on it. This can be ordered with the NACS, with a NACS cable, the Tesla connector. Can order it in either the 1772 or the NACS. Easy installation. This front panel comes off. The connections are done inside the front here. They're easy to get to. The cable's field replaceable if needed. It's a touchscreen display. It's not powered up right now, but it has a touchscreen display that displays all the information during the current charge session. Each of our chargers come with a QR code. Eaton does not have an application that you download to your phone. It has a QR code on the front, so the driver pulls up and scans it with their smartphone. It opens up the web-based software, the web-based page where you enter your credit card information, all that, and start the charging session. When the charging session is done, it emails you the receipt for the charging session, all the information that came along with it. It has a, it's got a, right there on the side, it has an emergency disconnect on the side. It got NEMA 3 rated, outdoor rated, 25-foot cable. Comes with the cable mount that's included with the charger. This is 240, or it can come in at 208. At 208 volts, it's just the kW rating goes down just a little bit, but it's a 240 or 208 installation. Chargers are stocked in California, so these are in stock and available. We go from 32 amp residential up to the 19.2 kW. We have a fleet option. It's an 80 amp charger, a fleet, and a fleet pro. Our fleet pro option is in an industrial steel case, and our fleet is in a plastic case like this, all NEMA 3R. For level 2 residential, we go from 32 amps up to 80 amp chargers. We also have large DC fast chargers from 50 to 150 kW DC fast chargers. And these are manufactured by Eaton. This is an Eaton product. This isn't white label. This is manufactured by Eaton. So the same Eaton that manufactures the gear and transformers, that's us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matthew. We have about 65 hardware models that we are integrated with, and we're always taking new integrations into play. So if you have a charger that a customer wants to deploy that we're not integrated with yet, we're happy to do those integrations for you.
Hey everybody, my name is Aaron Arriaga. I'm with Holt Renewables. We are a turnkey design build EPC firm. We do engineering, procurement, and construction on battery storage, solar, and EV infrastructure projects across the United States. We were established in 2012 as a team, and we were acquired by the Holt Caterpillar family of companies, which is also known as Holt Group, in 2019. So historically, we used to install only solar and battery storage projects, but as of lately, we've seen EV charging and EV charging infrastructure catching momentum through the industry, and a lot of our C&I clients, municipality clients, had reached out to us and asked, okay, well, we have extra energy consumption or energy usage due to the integration of EV chargers. How can we mitigate the increase in cost? And so we decided to pair up with our microgrid solutions or our energy storage solutions alongside solar to offset this increase in energy usage. However, at the beginning, whenever all this started to gain momentum, we weren't suited to do the EV infrastructure in terms of like an engineering perspective because we had focused on battery storage and solar historically. So we brought in groups of companies to be able to provide expertise in each facet or scope of work whenever we started the design process on these projects. So for example, on the front end, we want to engage the charger manufacturers or the CMS groups to help inform what needs to be done from an infrastructure perspective. And so we believe that it's really important to do that to provide best practices to the clients and the end users. And we've seen it work really effectively throughout the industry. And we feel that we're providing the best service to the client by bringing in all these experts across the many different facets of these projects that we're building out. In California, we're seeing a lot of the EV chargers with like transit authorities and local municipalities that are requiring the EV chargers through the requirements from the AHJs or jurisdictions. So one takeaway that I think that everybody should have here if anybody's considering an EV charger project is to find an EPC that is turnkey from a design build perspective that brings in all groups that are going to be integrated into this, because there's so many different scopes that are required in these projects, and it's very rare to find one group that is an expert across the board in all of them.
All right. And we have Joshua Goldman here from ABM, who's going to tell you a little bit about what ABM does, what their specialty is, and I'll hand it over to you, Joshua.
Thank you. Thank you all. So how many of you heard of ABM before? Great. So we're one of the largest companies most of you haven't heard of. We've been around for over 100 plus years. We started with a bucket and a mop in San Francisco, and I've grown to a Fortune 500, over 110,000 person company that has many divisions from facility management to mission critical power and availability and uptime. We're the third largest parking lot operator. We have an education division doing ESCO or energy savings work for schools and universities. And we have our advanced technical service division that our e-mobility and Revolv microgrid division are part of. And so here with ABM e-mobility, we are showcasing our design, build, operation, and maintenance of electric vehicle charging stations, supported by Revolv's microgrid, solar, gensets, battery, and other power equipment to allow for our customers to have a scalable approach for the electrification of their fleet. So we have customers on the transit side. New York City Transit operates dozens of high-power chargers with pantograph equipment like you can see here at the show. We designed and built their first articles, their first phase of the program, and then partner for phases 2 and 3 into upwards of hundreds of chargers and pantographs that we operate and maintain on a daily basis, including training our customers through our on-site and Atlanta-based training center. And then working with our charger hardware manufacturers and charger software manufacturers like the Mobility House and others that help us provide the customers the uptime they need to keep their fleets on the road. This equipment is monitored through our Network Operations Center, housed in our co-located Cummings, Georgia facility near Atlanta, where there are engineers and technicians 24/7, 365 that are looking at all of the chargers through different software providers and able to provide them that availability, real-time power and energy use, and any error codes where soft resets and hard resets over the air, and dispatch for already on-site technicians or regional technicians from all the ABM locations to service that equipment. We have a team here that we'd love for you to meet with here at the show, as I would talk with you how we go through the process from first introduction to where you learn about what your fleet's needs are, what your project looks for in terms of today's number of vehicles, trucks or buses, and how we can scale with you. And then what is the best choice of equipment for hardware and software to meet those scalable needs? Our team is well versed in the various grants and financing programs. We have development partners that can help on the capital equipment purchase and site selection for this equipment. And then we have others on the nonprofit side, the consulting side, the engineering side, and contractors and builders and electrification and civil partners that can help put all this stuff in the ground with us as general contractor under AVM, or we will often act as a sub under a large GC for some of the more complex projects. You're here in the LA area. Hopefully you came in and out of LAX. If you happen to park a car there because you live here, you probably parked in one of the 9 garages that we operate, and hopefully that was an electric car, and you parked into one of the 1,200 ABM electric vehicle chargers that we have there running with our software monitoring and on-site support. We also hope to soon announce a coming project here in the region for a solar microgrid with battery storage and vehicle-to-grid enabled school bus project that will be using Mobility House's ChargePilot program in order to be able to dispatch that energy back to the local utilities supporting that school for some of the lowest cost of operation of school buses in the country.
Thank you very much, Joshua. Appreciate your time. All right, we'll be taking you to the next stop of the tour, to Burns & McDonnell.
Welcome. So my name is Josh Lloyd. I'm a senior project manager at 1898 & Co.
And I'm Darren Painter. I'm business development for our transportation electrification team.
So at 1898 & Co., we are the business and technology consultancy of Burns & McDonnell. And we do a lot of upfront planning for our clients. And we leverage 125 years of Burns & McDonnell's experience solving the world's toughest challenges related to infrastructure. So Burns & McDonnell, we built everything from power plants, substations, transmission lines, water treatment facilities, roads, all of the major infrastructure that we enjoy across North America. And what we do in our group at 1898 & Co. is we help our clients with fleets address the challenges around transition planning towards a zero-emission fleet. And we do that by starting out with a really good fleet assessment. So we look at everything related to how the vehicles operate, their duty cycles, where they dwell overnight. We take a data-driven approach and we use telematics data from their fleets to understand those operations. And then we usually interview the client as well, their drivers, understand how they interact and use the vehicles. And then we start to think about how a plan could be laid out by considering the technology. So we'll evaluate the technology that's available, the different systems, the charging infrastructure, the software. We'll walk through that with the client. And then we'll also take a look at the facility, work out what needs to change at the facility. What kind of chargers are we going to install? Where are we going to install them? We also take a look at solar, storage, utility rates, make ready to understand the complete picture. Once we have that in mind, then we could look at economics. We can start to look at the vehicles, their technology, their costs, their savings, and really come up with a comprehensive plan that looks at the business case and the technology to lay out a effective and actionable transition plan for our clients. In addition to that, we can also look at grid planning studies as well, understand EV growth and load growth to help utilities address that side of the problem as well. So Darren?
And okay, I'll hold that for you, Josh. And with that, we take the plan that Josh's team develops and develop an implementation plan. So that's everything from concept all the way through to commissioning. So our team relies on 12,000 plus professionals. As Josh mentioned, we could pull those professionals from all various lines of our business to deploy a complete solution. Within that, again, we have 75 offices, so we can support your projects at scale. That's nationwide. So supporting everything, again, from that initial design all the way through handing off a commissioned project. So we provide full EPC services as part of that solution. So within our engineering realm, we support that full deployment within IFC. So everything, again, from conceptual designs all the way through IFC stamped drawings. We are licensed in all 50 states. So again, supporting that complete deployment on your side of the fence. With respect to the EPC and the construction side of our business, we have over 4,000 in-house construction professionals. So we can, again, support that design all the way through to the very end of your potential project. We support projects, everything from DER type solutions. So within that solution range, we support the solar designs, we support the battery designs, we support the resiliency, if that's the overall part of that play. We can do those designs all the way, again, through IFC, through implementation, through commissioning, to hand you a complete project. We like complex projects. You'll see this against there, the world's toughest challenges. We mean that. We have those capabilities to do what is complex. That's why we're here. That's what we offer as a complete solution to your teams. Our goal, again, hand you a design that you can implement, that we can hand off. You have a solution that you can be comfortable with, is successful, is completed safely, and provided on budget and on time. That's our goal.
As you've learned at ACT Expo this week, there are a lot of challenges around implementing zero-emission vehicles into a fleet. We've always said at Burns & McDonnell that fleet electrification or zero-emissions transitions, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. It takes time. And to navigate this challenge, you need a trusted partner like Burns & McDonnell to help walk you through those complexities.
We want to be your partner all the way through this process. Everything from utility coordination, where we support over 3,000 different utilities. We want to be that partner through the entire process. As Josh mentioned, it's a long process, especially with the uncertainty in the market today. We know it's a long process. We want to be your partner through that entire process. So with that, we appreciate you coming. We appreciate you stopping by and look forward to learning more about what we can do for you. So thank you very much.
All right, friends, we are going to be moving back towards the direction where we came, and our next stop is going to be Alphastruxure.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming to our booth. I'm Christine Whitig. I'm Vice President of Transportation for Alphastruxure. Alphastruxure is a joint venture of Schneider Electric and the Carlyle Group, and we were purpose-built to do energy as a service. So for those of you that might not be really familiar with what that means, we design, finance, build, own, operate, and maintain on-site energy systems for large energy users. For many of our projects, that includes not only the energy generating infrastructure, so you could think along the lines of solar, fuel cells, some sort of base load generation, whether it's for backup purposes or primary power, battery energy storage. But what we also do on many of our projects is we deploy EV charging infrastructure or hydrogen fueling infrastructure on behalf of some of our transportation customers. And so by doing that as a service, it means that there's no upfront cost to the customer. So that not only preserves capital for some of our customer core businesses, but it also means that it de-risks that long-term operation, because we, as the expert partner, are there to operate and maintain it and refresh equipment as it needs to be refreshed over the typical term of our agreements, which is usually north of 20 years, sometimes 15, sometimes 30. In some cases, we actually have agreements that are in excess of 30 years. And so if I were to rattle off a few of the key reasons why our customers value energy as a service, it is about that upfront capital avoidance. It's about de-risking the operation. It's about decarbonization in a lot of cases, so we can, day one, be cleaner than most grid-provided power. But then we also can be that long-term partner that decarbonizes your operation over time. And then now increasingly it's about resilience. So you can still have that grid backup, or we have multiple power islands where we can seamlessly transfer power to give a high level of reliability and resilience. But more and more what we're seeing customers come to us for is because they have time to power constraints. So your local utility might say, yes, we could give you those tens of megawatts sometimes, especially if you're a data center, hundreds of megawatts, even gigawatts, but talk to us in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. We, by doing it behind the meter, can deliver those projects far more quickly The equipment that we provide has shorter lead times because it's at a smaller scale. The interconnection process is also shorter than if you're going in front of the meter. And so you can imagine how it is that we could collapse that time frame for deployment. So that's Alphastruxure in a nutshell. And what I'll do now is I'll hand it over to my colleague Sean, who will talk to you a little bit about how we maintain that high level of performance over those long-term agreements.
Hi, everyone. Sean Powell. I'm a network operator with Alphastruxure. So my job, my role, how I fit into the puzzle here is part of our value proposition is we offer the own, operate, and maintain service of the equipment on site. So I sit here and monitor this SCADA screen. I make sure that the equipment is running on time and is available. I make sure that there's enough EV charging capacity for the buses. Solar's generating as it should. The battery energy storage system is online. Part of our design here is that we have a battery energy storage system with a seamless transition. Last year we had over 4 nines of reliability at this specific site, and we had an incident where buses were charging. We lost the utility, and the battery transitioned so fast that we didn't even lose charging sessions. We have multiple sources of generation here. We have natural gas generators, PV production, battery energy storage system, as well as utility interconnection. That's a pretty standard basis of design for our projects. That's how we achieve such a high reliability and bring energy to the buses at a cost-efficient solution.
I guess the one thing I would add, if it didn't already come across, is we not only have very talented humans like Sean that are monitoring our systems, but we have a 24/7 network operations center where we have remote monitoring. And so it's between that technology and the human layer that we really do provide a very high level of performance that we can guarantee. One other elegant thing about energy as a service is the customer can define their own KPIs. So in some cases, it might be about decarbonization. It could be about level of uptime of the chargers. It could be about production of the energy generating assets or even resilience. So it's very flexible in that regard. No single project is the same. One other thing that I would mention is, as a child of Schneider Electric, we usually focus on bigger projects. So, think maybe 5 megawatts and above or 20 million in CapEx and above. But we have a sister company that does smaller projects. So we can be a resource to you in terms of different project types that you're looking at. And if Alphastruxure won't do it, then we have other resources that we could bring to bear as a resource to you.
Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you, Sean. I said that the short walks were over, but I lied. We're going back to the Mobility House booth to meet up with our partners, Revolv.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me very well. So my name is Jonathan Harris. I'm Director of EV Fleet Solutions at Revolv. Revolv is a full-service leasing company dedicated to electric vehicles. So a lot of fleets, when they're looking at adding EVs to their fleet, are sort of struggling with where should I start, what kinds of vehicles, how do I enact the infrastructure for that. And so we wrap the vehicle lease, the maintenance of that vehicle, the charging infrastructure, the maintenance of that infrastructure, all into one monthly payment to try and make it very simple for fleets to step into this space. So not every fleet or corporation has the resources to kind of figure out all the jigsaw puzzle pieces that go into putting EVs into a fleet. And that's where, our dedicated experts kind of come in. We've got lots of lessons learned from our experience in the industry to come in and put these vehicles into a fleet in a very sort of seamless manner. Our relationship with Mobility House is more around using their active load management, the ALM, to help us reduce or to provide a positive total cost of ownership for a customer. So in many cases, we might find a customer where they have their own dedicated loads inside their business. So an example I might use is a bakery. So they want to add EVs, but there are certain times during the day where their ovens are taking up a lot of their electrical load. That's where we can utilize Mobility House and their software to manage that load so they're charging during times so they don't see these peak demands. That in turn allows us to not have to do some of the really expensive upgrades that they can incur by bringing in extra service, extra electrical service to manage that load at the site. So that allows us to provide a lower cost solution to the customer and, like I said, drive a very positive TCO for them. So we're really, really grateful for the relationship with Mobility House. It helps us sort of enact projects in a shorter time frame than we might have otherwise, and also help our customers sort of understand their own power use and how they can optimize that for their day-to-day operations. Well, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jonathan. We are going next to Heliox.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining the tour. So Heliox is Siemens. Siemens is now Heliox. We are all one big happy family. At the very end of 2023 was when we were acquired by Siemens. We are fully integrated into the Siemens family, and it's been really beneficial for the Heliox group. We were small, we were agile, and now we have the runway, both from a supply chain, I know we always like to talk about supply chains nowadays, as well as our product portfolio. So we have our DC lineup as well as our AC lineup. You can see all that behind me. The latest and greatest, kind of one of the products we've been most excited about announcing and releasing, have been the iterations to our 60 kilowatt family, or what I call our H60 family. So they all use the same enclosure. You see the unit here. This is our H60 dual port. So it's still a 60 kilowatt charger, one input, but we're able to use two CCS outlets. So if you plug in one vehicle, it will receive a full 60 kilowatts. If you pull up and plug in a second vehicle, it's going to be able to charge both those vehicles at 30 kilowatts. And then as those vehicles either finish charging or are unplugged, it is going to swap that power module back to that other vehicle and provide 60 kilowatts. So it's still dynamic charging, just at a lower rate. Really popular. That 60 kilowatt mark is really popular for some fleets if they have a long enough dwell time. Mostly the school bus market is really a target for that one. The other unit uses the same body but just has one CCS1, not two, is our 44 kilowatt bi-directional. We do have a flyer here with a QR code. You can come down and download the specifications. We have the 60 and the 44. 44 kilowatt bi-directional units. That's a UL listed ISO 15118-20 certified unit. Again, it's bidirectionality, really focused on that school bus market, the school bus charging. As we go to other units, like our 60 kilowatt, you can see it on the other corner of our booth. We still have our mobile applications, 60 and 30 kilowatts. So if you don't need the full power of the 60, or you have specific applications, maybe your circuits are sized better for a 30 kilowatt versus a 60 kilowatt, we are able to utilize the same package. We pretty much just pull out one of the power modules, and it's now a 30 kilowatt unit. Of course, the bread and butter of our fleet charging, the Flex 180, is still an option. We do have a diorama of that on the table here. You're going to take a look at that or download some of the spec sheets. We have QR codes over there as well. If we're looking at level 2, some of the lower powered options we're going to have are our VersaCharge family. So that's going to be a 48 amp and an 80 amp. So again, very dependent on your application. Our go-to-market strategy has always been working with the private fleets, the behind-the-fence charging options and operations. So having that whole picture of everything from non-rev vehicles or your lower powered vehicles up to a full 180, 360 and above, really offering that complete package for the customer so they have one charger manufacturer to go along with their preferred charging CMS provider. So one thing I always like to highlight when we talk projects, especially large projects, and as these projects continue to get bigger and bigger, is partnerships. We are only the charger manufacturer, so really all we can provide is the charger itself as well as some service, where this is a lot different than charging, or I should say fueling with diesel or CNG that a lot of these operations are used to. So, really needs to be looked at as a partnership when we're deploying a system, especially a larger system, because getting everybody to the table, getting everybody to work together is really how we make this industry move forward and deploy successful deployments and have continued success in our own operations. So partnerships are a key part of what we do, and we also get to have fun opportunities like this where I get to talk to all y'all. So really like to harp on the fact that it's not as simple as a transaction. You don't just buy the charger and move on. We want to be looked at as a partner, and we want to support you as a partner, as a customer. Well, thank you all. I hope you enjoy the rest of the tour. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Carter. Alrighty, folks. We are headed over to our final stop at Delta, and Sam is going to be leading the way.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Stan Chow. I'm the Senior Sales Manager with Delta Electronics. For those of you who's not familiar with our company, Delta was founded in 1971, and we are a global leading company in power electronics and thermal management solutions. We've been doing EV charger development for the past 15 years. And as of today, we shipped over 3 million EV chargers worldwide. We have manufacturing locations in many parts of the world, including Plano, Texas here in the U.S. We build our 350 kilowatt BABA compliant chargers there. Most of our other chargers are currently being built in Taiwan. We have a full portfolio of EV chargers from level 2 chargers and DC chargers ranging from 25 kilowatt all the way to the megawatt level chargers. So today I want to just kind of walk you through some of the products that we're launching this year to give you a better idea of our new products that's coming. This year we're introducing this 50 kilowatt DC wall box charger. It can charge 2 EVs simultaneously at 25 kilowatt each, or if it's only one EV, it's 50 kilowatt. And it has a 7-inch LCD display. It has a built-in RFID reader, and we can also easily integrate a credit card reader to make it a public charger. So this level power of DC charger is more ideal for fleet operators that has at least a couple of hours or overnight charging time. Okay, and here we have our 200 kilowatt city charger. It's an all-in-one system, and again, it supports dual charging capability with a dynamic load sharing capability at 25 kilowatt granularity switching. And here is our level 2 charger. This one here is our 350 kilowatt high power system. It has a 50-inch LCD display. It has a liquid cooling system. It can charge 2 vehicles at the same time, and each connector can deliver up to 500 amp of current. And currently, this is one of the most popular public chargers that we have in the field. I think we still installed over 1,000 units of these already in the United States. So this one here is it's more of a next generation charging system. It's more of a distributed system. So basically, what you're seeing here is a 750 kilowatt power cabinet. You can actually stack 4 of these together to give you 3 megawatts of power, and we can support up to 16 charging ports. And so all those 16 charging ports will share this 3 megawatts of power to have a good optimized utilization. And the switching matrix will provide a charging granularity of 50 kilowatts minimum. So this is our next generation high power. And lastly, I just want to say that Delta Electronics, we leverage our power electronics expertise as well as our thermal management expertise so that we are capable of developing many of the key components that are used in our own charging system, such as our power modules, the cooling fans. It's all designed and built in-house. So this way we have better control of our product quality as well as mitigating the supply chain risks. And thank you for coming, everybody, and appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming through. That is the last stop of our advanced fleet charging tour. Thank you again very much. Let us know if you have any questions.